like, what, years in the making?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, when did we first have the idea for No TV Dinners?
No TV Dinners, it is years in the making. The thought of it came well before we actually took our initial leap at the beginning of 2020. We talked about it, and then that was like, all right, let's put something down on page and make things happen. So I'm trying to remember. Do you recall exactly how long ago?
Ooh, I don't have like a specific date, but I remember when we moved to the place in Bernal.
Yes.
And to Rutledge, that we started talking about it, and we were like, we need to do something. We need to come together with our different like creative talents and like mix them together.
Yes.
And that was what, 2018? 2018. That was like fall of 2018. So this has been in the works for years. And it just hasn't manifested in the right way. Like, we've tried it a couple of different ways, and it just like fell. We didn't have enough passion behind it because I don't think it was organic enough. I think we were trying to curate it too much, and
exactly.
That's what
we were putting
about.
So much pressure on the product of it, and trying to like, okay, well, let's challenge ourselves to get something done each month, and it was just too much going on with work and everything like that. So this format is new and renewed, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be able to share some time. So welcome everyone to No TV Dinners.
Well, like the first episode of like many. I'm really excited to build out this as a weekly like creative experiment that we get to do. I feel like the whole idea behind No TV Dinners really came out of us feeling like we weren't at a place in our relationship that we wanted to be, just because we felt like we were just kind of letting time go without being like intentional about what we wanted to do together. And we were watching TV with dinner, and I think that was like the ultimate low, where we were like, what are we doing? We're not even talking to each other, we're just watching TV, and like not even good TV. It wasn't even like, it was like, what do you want to watch? And then it was just like 20 minutes of just searching for something, and then we'd put like Shark Tank on. And as much as I love Shark Tank, I mean, it wasn't like we were excited to watch anything. It was just like,
no, we were force feeding.
Yeah.
And it would also catch us in a vibe where we would start something, it'd take forever to get to it, food's getting cold, and then we get caught into something, and all of a sudden we're seasons down the road of Survivor.
Which wasn't a mistake.
No, it definitely wasn't a mistake. Shout out Jeff. But we just had to reframe it. We did recognize the valuable time that we were losing as a couple, and how important that is to be able to use that time for communication or planning or whatever it is, but just not to just sloth and just consume it. We needed something to trigger us there. So we were implementing that before we started building out processes. I know we definitely slip back in here and there, and sometimes we'll have an indulgent time.
We'll still, okay, part, just to clear the air, we still do watch TV together. It's not like we don't watch TV ever. However, we are very intentional. We try to be intentional about when we watch TV, because I feel like, especially dinner, after we each have our own day, coming together and being able to share a meal is really special. And so just wasting that time away, it made us feel like we were drifting apart, and we weren't as synced up together, and it kind of fell into this like flat routine. So we wanted to do more. I mean, we're both like creative people. We have things that we each love to do on our own, and then together we just felt like there was this untapped potential that we had. And even if it's like, even if you're not a creative person, or you deem yourself not to be a creative person, which I have my own thoughts about that, but anyway, I I feel like it's how you utilize your time. And there's a time and place for TV because it's awesome to just like sit back and watch a show or a movie. But when it's consuming the day to day, it turns into like a really toxic thing. And it steals time rather than giving you that moment of like relaxation and comfort that comes from watching TV. So we wanted to do something with that time. What could we do if we didn't have that time sitting in front of the TV? What would we do with it instead? Mm-hmm. And that's how No TV Dinners came to be.
That's right. So we join our forces, we utilize our talents and our personal gifts and geniuses to be able to provide something and create things. So do we need to go over like the earlier iterations of it, or?
I think just briefly, like just a brief overview of what we tried and what did not work with No TV Dinners in the past. January 2020. So much energy and like we're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. We wanted to take a topic and learn something each month, and first thing we do kick off was going through finances. So we each got a book and we started reading it. We were putting out stuff and making infographics and little videos and going through that. Next month was memory. And then that next month went into the next month, more memory. And then COVID.
And then COVID
that's
hit.
A fair enough excuse, I guess. It was an allowance for what the heck's going on. And then, you know, it just keeps shifting, putting things out with the little animals that we got. And now we just want to have something where we can have a communication once a week where we can, even if it's pick a topic or ask questions, open things up to the viewers and listeners and the people that are following along so that they can ask questions. We have
absolutely
spent a fair amount of time together with much more to go. We've been together 5 years. Almost six now. And we have tried many things within our relationship. Some work, some don't. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we see value in is being able to like communicate and share like what did work for us and what might work for, you know, you as a viewer. And so I'm excited to be able to kind of sit down and just chop it up with you and just have a great time together.
I love that. I think that is what this is. This is meant to be very organic and transparent. In no ways are we a perfect couple. I don't even know what that is. We kind of want to spill the tea on things that really didn't work and brought us to points where we were like, what are we doing? Is this relationship really serving us in the way that we want it to? And how we kind of got out of those points, and how we also got to points where we've really figured things out that work for us to be strong together in a relationship while also maintaining our autonomy. And like, I think it's one thing to be in a fulfilling relationship, but if you lose yourself in that process, I don't know how sustainable that is. And we're both trying to spend a lifetime together. And so it's like we're trying to figure out what that means to build something that can really last a lifetime without going into really like shitty relationships that I've seen with people who have been together for a very long time. And
repetition, circling back. And if you're always just, like, next to each other,
you just hate each other at a certain point. I'm like, I don't want that.
You don't talk for a couple of weeks, and you're like, we try very hard to keep that. Like, if there's an issue, we got to address it. Yep. And the repetition is something. When you're doing your own thing, you can bring more things to the table, more exciting things that you can share with the other person, as opposed to, do you remember that episode yesterday, and all this kind of stuff, and this guy was a jerk or whatever. So,
Yeah, so we're going to just be honest and vulnerable about our relationship, and hopefully that helps in how maybe you're seeing a relationship that you're in, or maybe you're thinking about wanting to find a relationship and these certain things haven't worked in the past, and how can you kind of prepare, or maybe just like think in a different way about how you can show up. Because I think it's easy to, you know, picture this person who's going to complete you and going to bring all these things to the table without really considering like how are you going to bring things to the table that they might need and that they might want? So I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. I think that there's like a lot that I just want to remember, because things happen and then you kind of forget, like, this didn't work or this really worked. We should do that. And so this is kind of a way for us to put them in a time capsule and be able to watch things back ourselves that, you know, can help us down the line when we're struggling and kind of need some guidance. So.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. So I think that's a pretty good wrap on the situation. I think for context's sake, maybe we will go through just how we met and how we ended up where we're at right now. I think that's a fair play.
I love it. I love how we met. How we met is like one of my favorite memories to replay.
Organic.
So.
Non-digitally.
Yeah, it was like, well, okay, we met in 2015. So this is like when online dating was around, but it wasn't at the height at which it's at now.
OkCupid is what I remember. Yeah,
Tinder was around. So I was working at this spot in San Francisco named Viracocha, which forever goes down as like one of my favorite places of all time.
Beautiful.
It was just so not only beautifully designed, but the intention behind the space by the person who created it, Jonathan Siegel, was just so spot on for what different creatives needed. And it wasn't even creatives, it was just the community that was there. It was anyone who wanted a space where they could appreciate art and you know, interaction with other people. It was a space that was welcoming to anyone. And I was working at the bar during the evenings to kind of earn some extra money, and also I just wanted to be there and got to listen to music. And then you walked in one night.
I was coming to listen to some music with one of my good friends, and you just caught me. You caught me straight away. Presence is the best way to describe it. Your presence, and then your humor and your ability to communicate with me. Because I'm a jokester. I'm a coyote, and I always got to twist a little joke in there, and you smack that ping pong right back at me.
Well, it's hard to find somebody who can like be on a level of like that kind of almost like role play where you can just like get right into it without like, wait, what are you saying? Like, you're weird.
Don't be weird.
It was it was just like, no, we're both really weird, and we can just kind of be ourselves with one another. I think it started with your friend Tim asking, like, do you all know each other? And then we went
hit it off
right into it. And we were like, we went into like, we went into elementary school together. What? We named teacher names. I was like, remember this girl who had a crush on you? I mean, we were deep in a storyline. And his friend was like, no way, like, this is crazy that you all like have this kind of history. And we were like, no, we're just messing with you. Like, we've never met before. Like, what do you want to drink tonight?
And so it was very special to me because I always kept my heart pretty closed in, and so that you were like the first person I gave a number to. Wrote it down. Hey, if you wanted to, just text me. You know, I didn't have the guts to ask for it.
It was actually nice. It puts the ball in the like other person's court, and it's just nice to not be like put it in a situation where it's like, oh, okay, now I have to like make this uncomfortable, or maybe I want to give you my number. Anyway, I wanted your number. I was so excited. I was like, yes, that's actually a number I want. And it was funny because this happened at a time when I was like, I am done with looking for love, and like I was just like, I'm rocking it solo and I'm happy with that. And then you came along and I was like, damn it, man. I really like this guy. I want to get to know him.
This is the plan. Yeah, I was just coming off a tour too, and I was jazzed up on life. I just gotten back. I just moved into a new place, and it was just all kismet. It was really, really beautiful. So,
but then we didn't even like hang out for months after that. We tried, and the timing just wasn't right. And then I was visiting my friend Ronnie in Portland, and she was like, "Do you have anyone who like you're interested in?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, there's this one guy, David. And we were supposed to hang out, and it didn't happen." And she was like, "You should text him right now." And I was like,
did.
Okay, and I did, and then we set a date to go roller skating, which is your idea.
Yep.
And I was so excited because I like dancing, and I was like, I feel like I can do. I haven't roller skated in a long
ice
time,
skated
like
and things like that.
Yeah, but like when I was little, like I was never really a roller skating person, but I was like, I feel like I can figure this out.
Sure.
And we met at like some random time. It was like you were like, meet me at 717 on the
That's
corner.
exactly
I think it was, right?
Yeah.
And you are like a swan on roller skates. It's amazing. Like it's just
I had
like
to showcase my talent, right?
And I get on these skates and I'm on my ass in like the first like 5 seconds. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like just wanting food. I remember just being hungry. And I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to like be, a good sport about this. And we did it. Like I fell a number of times. I think like I really couldn't get up the next day. You like texted me and were like, how are you feeling? I was like, I'm good. And I was like, I can't move.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. But that date, like we had
sparked
like,
it.
Yeah, it was like we had really deep conversation about like things that I don't tell anyone about, really, like, and
fears and
yeah,
and things like that.
we went straight into it and had like a really silly dinner, and then like went to a playground. And I remember just like being close to you. We were on like this, I don't know, this little spinny thing. And I remember like getting to like be close to you. And I was like, you just feel like excitement about, I don't know, it's just like chemistry. It's like you feel a spark.
It's fun. It's new.
You didn't kiss me on the first date, which I was like.
Nor the second.
And I was like, I don't know if he really likes me or if this is just a friendship.
Kind of funny, what's going on here.
I wasn't sure where you were at, and like we had talked about like relationships not really being a thing that like either of us were really like that like interested in, and then
I wasn't gonna rush it.
Yeah, neither of us wanted to like rush into it, and we were like enjoying hanging out so much that like every week since that first date we would alternate, and it was like, now you plan something. The second date I took us to this place called Audium in San Francisco that is like pitch black dark, and you're just listening to like these sounds that are like 360 sounds. That place was weird, but so again we just had a blast. And then the third date was when we did have our first kiss, and it was like at the bus stop, and it was just like like this sweet kiss, and then I got on the bus and whoop.
We did those 3 dates. That's when the kiss happened, and we were just hanging from there. We were always together, always enjoying our time. It wasn't until 2 years in that we actually decided to move in together. We jumped around. We had like a short temporary place. But each place was wonderful. Each place was
amazing. Yeah. And it kind of like each built on the last. And it was just, we made each place our own. And I love that. And I think through living together, like in San Francisco, we went through a couple spots together. And then we both kind of felt, what's next after this? We knew that we wanted to go beyond.
We had to go see.
We just didn't know where that was going to be. And then the pandemic hit, and we were living in like this 1-bedroom apartment that wasn't tiny, but like to put it in perspective, like your office was in a closet, and I was like working in like the living room. It was a nice closet. It had a window in it. It was actually like passable for like an office, but it was really tight, and we didn't have like a place where we could step out to go outside. And then I landed a job, and they offered me the ability to move up to Seattle, and we just jumped on that. We thought, why not? We both love the Pacific Northwest, and Seattle is a place that we were both really curious about. And then we found, me being me, I started looking at places on like Trulia or whatever. And this one pops up, and I was like, wait a second, this is like my dream place. And I showed it to you, and you were like, hold on, we're not trying to move right now. Like it's too fast. Like we had just talked about it. And like that's like a good summary of like the two of us. I'm so quick to jump, and you're very methodical, and like you process things and like really do like good thinking and like good research about it, I will sometimes just be like, let's go.
We're in. Yeah.
And this place just ended up like, we said no after, like, we looked at it and it was like, okay, we're not going to do this now. I couldn't let it go. I was like, I need to look at this again. And I started reading it. And mind you, we had read through all the details when we sat down with it first. Yeah. And we read through it again. And it was like move-in date Seattle, move-in date September, and it was
right. And this was June
at that point. And I was like,
that's enough time.
That's perfect. So that's what led us to Seattle, and we've been here for 7 months now? Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah. And absolutely love it here. And we feel like this, what we saw ourselves doing here was exactly something like this, where we're utilizing our time to create instead of just consume.
And that's a beautiful thing. So here we are. Almost 6 years. New-ish city to explore. Yeah. We love it here. And we're just going to keep continuing doing this thing on a weekly basis and bringing topics to mind and kind of moving forward from there. So
yeah, if you have like a topic that's like, I mean, it can be anything, but specifically like about a relationship that you had or something that you're curious about, bring it forward. Like, we want to hash that stuff out and share kind of like how we would approach it or what we've done. Because I think that's what we're trying to get
learn
stronger
from that. Learn from the stories or the things that people share. Oh, I never thought of it like that. Okay. We're just trying to be better people within ourselves and as a couple and as a human unit. So we're all in this together, and hopefully our little spot of life is going to give you some value and at least some entertainment value.
I love it. That's perfect. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning in.
And stick around. This is just the beginning. We're just kicking this off, and we're really excited to get to like engage with you all, not just have this be a conversation between the two of us, but really like bring in more voices into this. So stay tuned.
Follow us at No TV Dinners on all social media platforms. We'll also have our individual things going on as well. We're steadily putting out great stuff. So
and if you like this, you know what to do.
Love y'all.